Hey there and welcome back to Mass Effect. My name is Pete and today we complete another large chunk of stuff on the Citadel. As you can see, last time we acquired Garrus as a squad member and we finished things up in Dr. Michel's med clinic. That is where we continue today, and we can start by activating the aid station for another codex entry. Our medi-gel is already up to capacity, so we won't receive anything extra. Outside of the clinic we can observe the nebula view, which gives us a codex entry and just enough XP to level up. So now for Shepard we'll put another point in soldier, increasing his health and health regeneration, and the second one in pistols. For Kaidan it's time to make him a bit more powerful as a biotic, therefore both points go in throw. And now for Garrus we have quite a few points to spend because we just acquired him. First off, let's increase decryption so that we unlock damping, just to get another extra ability, and then put a whole lot of points into first aid until we unlock electronics. And then use the last point to unlock overkill, and with future level ups we'll use the points to slowly move towards sniper rifles. Now unlocking electronics with Garrus is a good thing to have, as we can quickly scan another keeper here, because right now Kaidan is the only one who has that. There will however be situations where Kaidan is not the best suited squad member, so having both overload and the ability to open containers and doors on more than one squad member is generally a good idea. Now here you see that we unlocked another codex entry just for walking around. That is related to what's happening outside, and that would be the passing by of the Destiny Ascension, flagship of the Citadel fleet.
Took almost 6 hours and we only saw 1/10 of the ship. I even got to meet the commander.
Now before we exit the wards there's one area that we haven't yet been to, and that is the Flux. There's not really that much to do there, but we can grab 2 small side quests and save us some detours later. Now one thing we won't do in the Flux is play Quasar, because A, it's relatively easy to work out a strategy so that on average we turn a profit, and B, we have to play it as part of a quest later on anyway.
Hey, good to see another human.
So after a quick line from the bouncer here, we can listen in to Rita and Doran at the bar.
I'd bring her back in a second, but she doesn't want to come.
No. I'll see if I can talk some sense into her next time I see her. Sorry, I'm kind of busy right now. So, what can I do for you?
Well, you did sound like something was troubling you.
What were you discussing with the Volus?
Who, Doran? Oh, I was just asking him about my sister. See, she worked for Doran before she left to... Ugh, sorry, I don't want to bore you with my problems.
Well, everybody else does, so feel free to go on.
I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Well, okay. My sister Jenna left here to go work at Cora's Den. The problem is, she's working as an informant for CSEC. You know, eavesdropping on the people there. If they find out what she's doing, they'll kill her.
Yeah, that certainly is not good.
Being an informant is a dangerous job.
That's what I've been telling her. I don't know. Sometimes I think she stays there just to spite me.
Well, if you believe she's in danger, maybe you should talk to CSEC about that.
Do you know who her contact at CSEC is?
No, it's all very secret. Last time I asked an officer, he told me to stay out of it, for Jenna's safety.
Well, I suppose we could talk to her. Shepard seems to be very persuasive lately.
Maybe I could help her understand just how dangerous Cora's Den is.
Would you? That'd be great. Just don't tell her I sent you. Well, I should get back to work before I get in trouble. Thanks.
Alright, let's not forget to talk to Doran as well.
Welcome to Flux. Name's Doran. What can I do for you?
Because he can tell us a few things about the place.
Is this a casino?
Among other things, yes. We've got some Quasar stations, if you're interested.
So you run this place?
Are you the owner?
Owner, cook, and bartender. I've even been known to dance a little when the mood strikes me. We've got some Quasar stations, if you're interested.
Yeah, you mentioned that already. So what's your take on the entire situation with Rita and Jenna?
What can you tell me about the sisters working for you?
Well, Jenna left to work at Cora's Den. Now her sister Rita is all worried she might be in some kind of trouble. Not much chance Jenna will change her mind, though. She's a stubborn one. If she wanted to come back, I'd take her in a second. The customers loved her.
Well, then I hope we can convince her to come back.
I should be going.
Enjoy your time here at Flux.
Thanks a lot, but we're almost about to leave again. Now 2 more quick things we can do here. Number 1, scan the keeper, and number 2, examine the suspicious gambling machine.
Somebody rigged this machine to funnel credits through the system. Let me trace the signal.
And the journal entry for that small quest now says that the signal has been traced to the ward's access corridor. Just keep that in mind. Now we can go back out of the Flux and proceed on towards Citadel security. Interesting to note at this point is that we could already go into Chorus Den again and proceed the main quest, even without having talked to Wrex and C-Sec. But, and I apologize if it hasn't become obvious right now that he will become another squad member of ours, I think the game makes that very clear, especially after acquiring Garrus. Wrex has at least one ability that can really help us out in Chorus Den, and he is one of the most fun squad members around, so there's really no reason not to recruit him. Before we head into C-Sec though, we can get a codex entry from the extranet terminal here, scan another keeper, and then talk to Officer Lang.
Hey, I know you. You're Shepard, right? I saw the monument at Akuz. They got a whole section about you there. It's a miracle you survived.
Looks like you have a fan.
I'm sorry, I just never thought I'd meet someone like you in person. My name's Lang, Officer Eddie Lang, Citadel Security. It's an honor to meet you, Commander. What are you doing down here in the wards? Anything I can help you with?
He doesn't have any quests or codex entries for us, just a few lines of dialogue that we should get to for the sake of completion.
Why'd you join Citadel Security?
I don't know. Seemed like the right thing to do, you know? Maybe it's in my blood. My grandfather was a cop back on Earth. It's kind of what C-Sec is. Police for the Citadel. I'm still pretty new at it, but I like it so far. Way more interesting than staying back on Earth. You get to meet all kinds of cool aliens, like those Hanar. Wild. Plus, C-Sec gets a lot of respect here. We uphold the law. People, even aliens, appreciate that.
And on the topic of C-Sec, let's also ask him about Harkin, although we already talked to the guy.
Do you know a C-Sec officer named Harkin?
I shouldn't really say too much. He's been on the force a lot longer than me. But I've heard things, you know? Drinking on the job, taking bribes, that kind of thing. Rumors mostly, but they suspended him, so some of it must be true.
Then let's get a few lines about the Citadel.
How do you like working here on the Citadel?
This place is amazing. I've been here almost a year, and I still haven't seen a tenth of it. The Presidium's just so beautiful. Good place to go and relax. But I really like it here down in the wards. There's always something going on somewhere. Like that new club they just opened a few months ago, Flux. Wicked scene in there, Commander. You should check it out when you have some time.
And finally, his arguably somewhat limited knowledge of the Spectres.
What do you know about the Spectres?
Just the stuff they show in the vids. They always make them out to be super agents on secret missions to save the galaxy. I know it's not really like that, though. Some of the other C-Sec guys don't like them too much, figure they shouldn't be able to operate outside the law. But if they were so bad, the Council wouldn't use them, right?
Alright, thank you, that's it.
I have to go.
Right. You're probably real busy. Well, see you around, Commander.
And now we can proceed onwards to the elevator that will bring us up to Citadel security. And on the topic of those elevators, we will be forced to enter a few more, and they do take a bit of time, so please let me know in the comments if you would like me to skip them, unless they give us a quest, or if you would like to see them in their entirety even though they only contain background information. For this video I'll leave them all in, but I'll happily change that in the next one.
Binary Helix has settled out of court with a Krogan group that had accused the Genetics Corporation of fraud. The Krogan group had contracted Binary Helix to perform studies with a long-range goal of curing their genetic sterilization. The group later sued for a return of investment money when the study produced no viable results.
And this is actually a small bit of information that, without spoiling too much, could be linked to a situation in the endgame. Just a few things to keep in mind at this point. The name Binary Helix will definitely appear again, and so will the entire situation concerning the genetic sterilization of the Krogans. All of this will of course be a bit further down the line, just thought I'd mention it quickly. Alright, we have arrived at C-Sec. Before we advance the main quest and talk to Wrex, let's go to the right here. And down the stairs where we can find the requisition office with another keeper to scan and the requisition officer.
One sec, looking you up. Commander Shepard, here with the Alliance military. First time on the Citadel, that about right?
Yes sir, that is correct.
How did you know all that?
I'm the C-Sec requisitions officer. I need to make sure our buyers are authorized. So, will you be purchasing anything today, Commander Shepard?
And not much talking, just a quick purchase.
Show me what you've got.
Excellent. I hope you find what you're looking for.
And as usual, at the very end of the list, another license awaits, so let's buy that and leave again. And this marks the point where we already have all 5 level 1 licenses, so upon returning to the Normandy we might go on a small shopping spree. Obviously not unless we get the necessary credits for that. Now, after going back up the stairs, we can now cross the main hall of CSEC, elevators to the left and right, but before we use those, let's get to it and have a chat with Wrex.
Witnesses saw you making threats in Fist's bar. Stay away from him.
I don't take orders from you.
This is your only warning, Wrex.
You should warn Fist. I will kill him.
You want me to arrest you?
I want you to try.
Go on. Get out of here.
Do I know you, human?
No, but we are polite, so let's introduce ourselves.
My name's Shepard. I'm going after Fist. Thought you might want to come along.
Shepard. Commander Shepard. I've heard a lot about you. We're both warriors, Shepard. Out of respect, I'll give you fair warning. I'm going to kill Fist.
Fist knows you're coming. We'll have a better chance if we all work together.
My people have a saying. Seek the enemy of your enemy, and you will find a friend.
Well, if that isn't the definition of straightforward, welcome aboard.
Glad to have you on the team, Wrex.
Let's go. I hate to keep Fist waiting.
Well, so do I. Now, since Kaidan and Garrus have, at least at this point, somewhat overlapping skill sets, and also because I really like Garrus, let's pick him to go alongside Wrex, and that way we can also already spend all the talent points for Wrex. He has a few biotic powers. We'll put 1 point in Krogan Battlemaster just to get health regeneration. Then we skip Barrier and Stasis for now, and put the points in Warp instead, eventually unlocking Throw, which will also put a point in, so just when one ability cools down we still have another one to go back to. The last 4 points go into Combat Armor, unlocking Shield Boost, which is nice to have, and also unlocking Fitness, which we'll get into with the next level up. And that's it. Now, having Wrex in the party when going into Korra's Den is not absolutely necessary, but I'll definitely recommend it because, well, you'll see why. Now, one thing that shouldn't be overlooked is the entire left wing of Citadel security, because there are a few points of interest here, starting out with this little exchange.
He's threatened you?
Well, no, not exactly, but he wants to meet with me. I think he's going to kill me.
And why do you think that?
I can't really get into the details, but Chorban will kill me if I leave here unprotected.
I can't help you. Not unless you give me something more to go on.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Then I've got other work to do.
But
nothing. Don't bother me unless you're willing to give me details.
Hey there. Oh, you're not CSEC, are you? Did you want something?
Well, I could not overhear you were in trouble, and the name was dropped. That sounds familiar.
What were you trying to explain to the officer before?
My colleague is trying to kill me, and I thought we were friends.
Well, that sure is one hell of an accusation. What makes you think so?
How do you know he wants you dead?
He's changed. He won't talk to me at work anymore, and he started following me. Yesterday, he followed me all the way home, just waiting for a chance. I don't care what anyone thinks. He wants me gone. I know it.
Well, we can't let that happen now, can we?
Is there something I can do? Talk to your friend, maybe?
Would you? That's all I want. Someone to talk to him. Tell him to leave me alone. He thinks he can just push me around, but you'll show him, won't you?
Oh, sure I will.
Just tell me where he is and I'll go find him.
Oh, right. Well, he wanted to meet with me down in the wards near the markets. He said he just wanted to talk, but I know better. His name's Chorban. He's a Solarian. You shouldn't have any trouble. He's just a scientist.
Chorban. That's the guy who wanted us to scam the Keepers.
The Keepers? Well, even more reason to go after him. That's against regulations.
Oh, is it? Well, to be fair to Chorban, he kind of mentioned that.
I better look into this right away. Find out what he's up to.
Anything's possible with Chorban these days. Well, good luck.
Thank you, much appreciated.
Hello, Commander.
And now we can head up into the back area. This is actually an often overlooked part of C-Sec, but there are a few reasons it shouldn't be. Because after going up the stairs we see a keeper to the right, and even though we just learned that scanning them was kind of against regulations, well, it's all about the money and the experience. Speaking of experience, we can also get a codex entry from the terminal here, one from the weapons locker, another one from this terminal, and a fourth one from that. Lovely, now that is C-Sec done with as well, at least for now, which means we can go back down the stairs. The two rooms to the right here don't contain anything of interest, so let's quickly get back into the main area, where we'll take the elevator to the right to the docking bay.
I'm surprised that you're willing to kill your own, Wrex. Aren't the Krogan just a few generations away from extinction?
You don't get it. For all your talk of honor and pride, the Turians never had to test their principles in a real struggle. Anyone who fights us is either stupid or on Saren's payroll. Killing the latter is business. Killing the former is a favor to the universe.
Oh, Wrex, you lovely, lovely Krogan. And once again we get a bit of insight into the whole sterilization thing, a storyline that will get more important as we go along. Okay, here we are in the docking bay. Well, not much to see here, apart from, on our left, the Normandy. And a bit further in the back, another keeper. Now if I could, I would of course enter the Normandy right now. Sadly, that is not possible, but we'll go as far as we can anyway, because there's actually a reason why we can't enter.
Sorry, Commander. Nobody's allowed on the Normandy right now. Doing some routine maintenance.
Alright then, that's it for the docking bay as well. A bit annoying that we had to take on a long elevator ride for that, and speaking of it, now we have to go down again as well.
In remembrance of Eden Prime, we present another profile in courage with serviceman Nirali Bhatia. A devoted wife and talented chef, serviceman Bhatia joined the Alliance military under the Deferred Education Plan. After finishing her service, Bhatia planned to open a restaurant. Instead, she gave her life protecting the colonists of Eden Prime. For more profiles in courage, or to explore opportunities in the military, please visit the Alliance military on the extranet. Keyword, courage.
And another piece of background information with a bit more to it than it might seem. We should not entirely forget the name of this woman, Nirali Bhatia, because even though she's already dead, her name will come up again in a side quest. And now that we are back down in C-Sec, we unfortunately need to get back up to the Presidium. So back into the elevator we go.
In entertainment news, Francis Kitt has announced plans to direct Hamlet with Elcor cast members. The production will open dramatic theater to the Elcor with a Hamlet who uses Elcor body language and pheromones. Kitt claims that he's also excited by giving a human audience the chance to judge Hamlet by his deeds and not his emotions.
Please imagine Hamlet being played by a few giant Elcor on stage. A funny thought, but in all seriousness, Elcor culture is actually something that is very well discussed in the Mass Effect series. I won't go into the details here, but if you want to learn more, I highly recommend reading the article on the Elcor on the Mass Effect wiki, where you can find lots of additional information. And on the topic of Elcor, now that we are back in the Presidium area, the next place we'll go to is actually the embassy of the Elcor and the Volus, where we can talk to Xeltan. You might remember him from episode 4 of this playthrough. He was the Elcor that talked to his ambassador about the Asari Consort. Now to quickly recap that, when talking to General Septimus in Chorus Den, who was accused of spreading false rumors about the consort, we made him see reason and learned that Xeltan had a few secrets of his spread around, however, not by the Asari Consort as he thought, but by Septimus himself. After being convinced by us that what he did was not really a noble thing to do, Septimus then provided us with proof for Xeltan to show him that the Asari Consort had nothing to do with his secrets being spread around. And we're going to hand that proof over now.
Strange greeting, human. This is really not a good time.
Well, we have something to make it a bit better.
I know who revealed your secret. It was a Turian named Septimus.
Unbelieving, I know this Septimus, and he could not learn my secrets. The only way he could learn them is from the Asari Consort.
Here, this should be proof enough for you.
Confused. This is difficult to fathom. If the Turian could learn this on his own, dismayed, anyone can discover my secret.
I would hardly consider a Turian general to be just anyone.
Septimus is a powerful man, and it wasn't easy for him to find.
Relieved. I suppose you are correct, human. Thank you for this information. Startled realization. I must speak with the consort. She will be most displeased with my actions. Anxious request. Please, human, if you will excuse me, I must go now.
And choosing Don't Worry here gives us 2 Paragon points, and we'll gladly take those.
I'm sure she'll forgive you. It was an honest mistake.
Doubtful. Perhaps you are right, human. I can only hope so.
Thankful. That was a great thing you did, Commander. Approving. You see, Din, not all humans are as you say.
I'm sure the Earth Clan stands to profit from this in some way.
Oh, screw you. Behind the lovely Volus there is another keeper to scan, and then we can leave again, and even though we learned a bit about Anderson's history with Saren as a Spectre, if we were to talk to him in Udina's office now, we would not hear a single line of dialogue that we haven't heard already. So we can now go past the embassy receptionist, and then up the stairs and back in on the other side. In this area there's absolutely nothing to do apart from scanning 2 keepers, so let me quickly fast forward to the first one, which is in the back of the first room here, and then let's also speed things up until we reach the second one, which is also the last one and can be found on the outer balcony of the bar. And this has to be one of the most satisfying moments for anybody who's ever played Mass Effect. We successfully scanned all 21 keepers, the quest now completes automatically, which is great because now it doesn't interfere with anything between Chorban and Jahleed. Up next we're going to pay a visit to Sha'ira, the Asari Consort, and the way there is pretty long and uneventful, so once again I'll speed things up. And there is actually a reason why we visit her after talking to Xeltan and not before, but that would be a minor spoiler, and we'll see soon enough what kind of effects that had. Now Nelina at the door already has a line for us related to the quest.
Septimus has sent word. Apparently he sought the consort's forgiveness.
And now we can go up to the Asari Consort's chamber, where Sha'ira will hopefully show herself grateful for what we did.
I don't know exactly. It may sound strange, but I simply felt cold. That's not strange.
Commander, I recently received a lovely note from Septimus. Thank you for speaking with him. Even the Elcor diplomat has withdrawn his campaign against me.
We'll start off the conversation with 2 Paragon points for the Glad to Help option, and Let's Talk payment would give 2 Renegade points but no additional rewards.
It was my honor to aid you.
You are too kind, Commander, but I would not expect you to help me out of the kindness of your heart. I also have one more thing to give you, if you are interested.
Of course we are interested.
I'd be honored.
I offer a gift of words, an affirmation of who you are and who you will become. I see your skin, tough as the scales on any Turian, unyielding, a wall between you and everyone else, but it protects you, makes you strong. That strength is what kept you alive when everyone around you was dying. You alone survived. You will continue to survive. This may be who you are, but it is not who you will become. It only forms the basis for your future greatness. Remember these words when doubt descends, Commander.
And now, instead of being a gentleman, we're going with That's It, which will trigger something that otherwise would not happen.
Thanks, I guess.
Close your eyes and relax, Commander. Here, Commander. In light of your efforts with the Elcor ambassador, I would like you to have this small trinket.
And this is what I talked about earlier. The trinket is a reward for talking to Xeltan and cannot be obtained if we talk to Xeltan after Sha'ira.
What is it?
A small mystery. I have never learned its use or purpose, but I sense it is time for me to pass it on. And now I must ask you to leave. I have done everything I can for you. Remember my words, Commander Shepard. They will give you strength.
And that is another quest completed. The trinket that we get from her can actually be used later on, but it's nothing too special. Very interesting and also often overlooked is the fact that we can get a quick conversation with Helena now.
Hello again. The consort is very pleased with everything that you have done for her.
And we can ask her if we can get an appointment now.
Any chance I can move up on her client list? I did help her out.
Yeah, she is grateful for your assistance. However, you have already been rewarded for helping her. The client list is a separate matter, and her schedule is completely booked for the next several months.
Well, sadly, that does not seem to be the case.
I think I'm done here.
Of course. Come back anytime.
Alright, once again, let me speed things up because we now have to go all the way back to the wards, where we can trace the mysterious signal that we discovered in the Flux, talk to Chorban about Jahleed, and then sooner or later also go into Korra's den. I would like to wrap everything else up before we go into Korra's den, which will then be part of another episode. This one here will definitely scratch 30 minutes, and Korra's den would then add quite significantly to that, and I believe that everything that happens there and after is best experienced in one continuous episode. So that's what I'm going to do.
Must be hard for you, Garrus, knowing that the person behind all this death and destruction is a Turian Spectre.
Saren is either a traitor or a madman. Taking him down will restore the good name of Turians everywhere.
Glad to hear it. I was losing sleep over the prospect of people not loving the Turians.
Did I already mention that I really like Wrex and Garrus? Get ready for a few more exchanges like that as long as Wrex is with us. Now, one reason why I did not fast travel here is because that would bring us directly into the wards and not into this access corridor. But here is exactly where we need to be in order to investigate the signal further.
Looks like they bounced their signal off a relay. I'll trace the new signal.
Now, even if this means accepting 2 additional elevator rides, it might actually save us some time. And now this will be the final elevator ride of the episode. After this, we'll head to the lower markets and talk to Chorban.
Reports are circulating that Alliance Ambassador Udina has accused a Spectre of orchestrating the attack on Eden Prime. Udina reportedly based his accusation upon eyewitness accounts of the scene, but lacked the evidence to demand further investigation. When asked to comment, a council spokesperson would only state that the investigation of the attacks upon Eden Prime was currently ongoing.
Well, it seems like what we talked to the council about has already leaked to the public. Great job. Or alternatively, Udina is openly campaigning against Saren, however there is nothing that suggests that's the case. Now we are down in the wards, and one more time I'll speed things up until we reach the lower markets.
Commander, I wasn't expecting to see you again. Is there something you want?
Well, the truth about what you're doing would be a good start.
You can start by telling me the truth, Chorban.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. My experiments are...
We're not buying it. Jahleed told us you've been after him.
You spoke with Jahleed? Then you know about the data?
To be honest, no, not yet, but I suppose you're going to tell me.
No, but you're gonna tell me. Everything.
You boys can go. Looks like my plans have changed. It's not as bad as you think, Commander. Jahleed and I just got a little over our heads.
And how did that happen?
Keep talking.
The company we work for developed an experimental procedure for use in medical scanners. Jahleed and I saw even more potential, so we stole the plans and secretly developed a tool to scan the Keepers. Can you imagine? A tool that can actually get readings from the Keepers?
I am currently not stunned in amazement.
What's so special about that?
The Keepers are almost impossible to scan, and you can't capture them or get samples. They just self-destruct. After centuries here, we still don't know anything about them. Don't you see? We were the first to scan them, ever. You've seen it yourself, Commander. You know we can do it.
And that's all fair and well, but I currently fail to see why Jahleed would fear for his life.
Why are you trying to kill your partner?
I'm not trying to kill him. Jahleed's job was to disseminate our initial findings. But he decided to keep the data for himself. Maybe to sell it. I don't know.
So while you are both up to your necks in what is not exactly a legal operation, Jahleed has now betrayed you.
So you're just trying to get back what Jahleed already stole.
We lost our heads. We just couldn't let an opportunity like this pass us by. Commander, if you'll just continue gathering data for me, imagine what we might learn. And you'll stand to make a bit of a profit yourself, remember?
And here's a great thing. We have already completed the Scan the Keepers quest, which means choosing no more has absolutely no consequences for that quest, but still gives us 8 Paragon points.
I'm not breaking regulations for you or your research. Return what you stole, or I'll have you arrested.
All right. You don't need to ask twice. Well then, no more scanning. I promise. Of course, Jahleed still has the initial data, and I doubt he's planning to return it.
Well, I think we can handle Jahleed.
I'll deal with Jahleed.
So long, Commander.
Alright, very quickly, Chorban being here is a result of talking to Jahleed. It has nothing to do with whether or not we have picked up the Scan the Keepers quest. However, had we not picked up the quest first, this would have turned into a firefight without the option to get Paragon points. That just as a bit of background, this quest can actually end in multiple ways. Now I said I'll make a cut before going into Korra's Den, and that's exactly what I'll do now. So coming up, we'll have to deal with Fist. Until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers.